Good morning, students. Today we are going to start the first chapter of your maths, and that is place value. Before I tell you what place value is, let me take you to the quick revision about what a place is. So, if you see in a number, the first place which comes is unit or ones. Now, the second place which comes is tens. Then comes is hundreds. Then comes thousand, and then comes 10,000, and so on. For example, if I'll take a number as 76 lakh 42,194. So now here this is my units or ones place, this is my tens place, this is my hundreds place, this is my thousands place, this is my 10,000s place, this is my lakhs place, and this is my 10 lakhs place. So I hope everyone's clear with this. So in other words, the value of unit is 1. Meanwhile, for tens it is 10, for hundreds it is 100, for thousands it is thousands, and for 10,000s it is 10,000. Okay, this is not about a specific number, this is just a general explanation. So now we will talk about the place value. Place value is something which gives you the value of a number depending on its place, and when I say place, it means the position of the number inside a number. For example, let's take 6 over here. From 76 lakh 42,194, I'm going to ask you what is the place value of 6. Now, if you are to decide the place value, what you got to do is you have to decide at what place 6 is located. Units or ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, lakhs. So the value of lakhs would be 1 lakh, and the number which we have is 6. So if I multiply 6 into 1 lakh, it gives me 6 lakhs. So the place value of 6 in 76 lakh 42,194 would be 6 lakhs. If I give you another example, I'll say 98,473, and now I'll ask you the place value of 4. So to find the place value of 4, firstly we will decide what is the place of 4 located in this number. So here we've got 3 at our ones place, 7 at our tens place, 4 at our hundreds place, 8 at our thousands place, and 9 at our 10,000 place. Okay, so we have got 4 over hundreds place. So we'll take 4, and value of any number on hundreds place would be multiplied by 100. So 4 into 100 gives us 400. Therefore, place value of 4 in 98,473 would be 400. Now, this number is 5-digit number. That's what we are going to talk about now. 98,473. As you can see here, 9, 8, 4, 7 and 3. 5 digits are used, and then this number is formed. That's why this number is considered as a 5-digit number. Similarly, any number which contains 6 digits is considered as a 6-digit number. For example, 1,62,743. This number would be our 6th-digit number because it has 6 digits: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you something which is very exciting. See, we have a 1-digit number, and the smallest 1-digit number would be 1, obviously, and the biggest 1-digit number is 9. Now, if you add the smallest 1-digit number with the biggest 1-digit number, you would get 10. Now, this 10 is the smallest 2-digit number, which means that any 2-digit number will not be less than 10. For example, 72. Does 72 look like it is lesser than 10? No. Does 63 look like? No. Does 11 look like? No. Because 10 is the smallest 2-digit number. Moving on. Now, what would be the biggest 2-digit number? 99. In 99, if I add the smallest 1-digit number, it gives us 100. Now this 100 is the smallest 3-digit number. How? Does 133 look like smaller than 100? No. Does 947 look like smaller than 100? No. Does 101 look like smaller than the 100? Absolutely not. So, adding 1 to the biggest 2-digit number gives us smallest 3-digit number, and this thing keeps going on. I'll show you. Now the biggest 3-digit number is 999. If I add 1 to it, it gives me 4-digit number, and this 4-digit number is smallest 4-digit number. Now I'll take the biggest 4-digit number and then I'll add 1 to it. Gives me 10,000. This 10,000 is the smallest 5-digit number. Now, if I take the biggest 5-digit number and add 1 to it, it gives me 1 lakh. This is the smallest 6-digit number. So, to every biggest number, if you add 1 to it, it will give you the smallest next number. By next number, I mean that in next terms. If I add 1 to the biggest 1-digit number, it would give me the smallest 2-digit number. If I add 1 to the biggest 2-digit number, it would give me the smallest 3-digit number. If I add 1 to the biggest 3-digit number, it would give me the smallest 4-digit number. Similarly, if I add 1 to the biggest 4-digit number, it would give me smallest 5-digit number. And also, if I add 1 to the biggest 5-digit number, it would give me the smallest 6-digit number. Not only this thing keeps going on. This thing will keep going on forever. Even if you take 13-digit numbers or 14-digit numbers, although we are not going to take care about them right now, so we'll just move on. Alright guys, now I'll tell you about how to pronounce these 5-digit as well as 6-digit numbers. So firstly, let's talk about 5-digit numbers. Here, I'll take a 5-digit number as 37,912. So if I'm gonna ask anybody to pronounce this, what they are going to do is, firstly, you take all the numbers on the left hand side of comma and pronounce them together, add 1000 to them, and then pronounce all the numbers on the right hand side. So if 37912 is to be pronounced, then I'll write it as 37,912. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about here. I'll take another example. Let's say 72,146. So if I need to pronounce this, I'll write it as 72,146. Okay, so this is how you are going to pronounce all the 5-digit numbers. Alright guys, now we will talk about expanded notations. So what are these expanded notations? Expanded notations is a type of description of a number, but in an expanded way. In other words, if you have to give expanded notation of a number, then you have to mention it in form of an equation. By equation, I mean equation of addition, not a subtraction or multiplication, no. And one more condition is that, first condition is that you have to describe in form of addition equation. And second condition is, whatever number you are using to describe this equation, those numbers should only and only be the numbers consisting place values of individual digits used in that number. Okay, so another point is, all numbers of equation should be place values of all digits of the numbers. Alright, let's take an example. If I'm going to ask you to give me expanded notation of 25, which means that firstly you have to give it in form of an addition. So 25 can also be written as 15 plus 10, right? 15 plus 10 also gives us 25, but this is not a right answer. This is absolutely wrong. Why? Because 15 plus 10, we are adding 15 and 10. Neither 10 nor 15 are place values in 25. In 25, what are all the place values? We have 5 and place value of 2 is 20. We add them. 25 is equal to 20 plus 5. And that's exactly how you are going to expand or in other words, you are going to describe a number as an expanded notation. For example, if I might give you a little bit tricky question, 78,421. If I am asking you to express this as an expanded notation, you would write it as 70,000 plus 8,000 plus 400 plus 20 plus 1. Now here both these conditions are satisfied, because firstly this equation is in form of only additions, right? There's no subtraction or nothing. And secondly, all these numbers are place values of individual digits which are used in this number. So this is what expanded notation means. Now we will talk about place value charts. So place value charts is like basically a chart which is made on basis of the place values. Before, let's just divide again all the places. This was ones, this was tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, lakhs, and 10 lakhs. Okay, so these three, that is hundreds, tens, and ones, these three places come under one period. Okay, periods are basically just a classification on basis of which these charts are made. So the first period contains these three places and it is known as ones period. Okay, so ones period contains hundreds, tens, and ones place. Now we will move on to second period. Second period is our thousands period. Then next period we have lakhs period. This is how all these places are categorized into three periods. Now while you are writing the number, all these periods will be differentiated by a comma. So in other words, after 3 digits from the right hand side, you have to put first comma. After 2 digits, you have to put another comma, and so on. Suppose if I have a number as 412678 okay, now I'll put comma after 3 numbers, then after 2 numbers I'll put a comma. So here 780 and 5, these three come in ones period. Then 20,000 and 6,000 come under thousands period. Then 40 lakh and 1 lakh come under lakhs period. Okay, I'm sorry for that. I hope you guys can see now what I've done here. I have separated all the digits according to their place values. Now these three digits are, this one was at ones, this one was as tens, and this one is at hundreds. So these three come in ones period. That's why I have put one comma here. Then 6,000, 20,000. That's why I have put here another comma. And then 40 lakh and 1 lakh. After 40 lakh and 1 lakh, I have put the second comma. If there is another word, if there's another number ahead of them. If there's not, then you don't require to put any more commas. So this is what the place value charts is about. Alright guys, now I'm going to start exercise 1A. Now here, first question is about write numbers on spike. Here, two examples are given. Okay. Now they have asked us to write this in form of numbers. So now here I have 6 beads, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So on ones place my number comes as 6. Now here I have 7 beads. So this becomes 7. Now here I don't have any bead, so it becomes 0. For here it becomes 2. Here I just have 1 bead, and here we have 3 beads. So now my number becomes 3,12,076. This is what my final answer is. Similarly, there is another question which is quite easy. And when I say it's quite easy, it's literally quite easy. That's all. There's no other number here, just 1 bid here and 1 bid here. So automatically 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. This becomes 1 lakh 1. Now here we have another question. In this question, I have 5 bids on ones table, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll write 5 here. Now I have 2 bids on tens line. So I have 2 here. Now I don't have any bid here, neither here nor here. I have 1 bid on the lakh spike. So we get 1 lakh and 25. Okay, it's quite easy. Now let's move on to next number. Here we don't have any number at one spike, so it becomes 0. Here also we don't have any number, this also becomes 0. Here we have 4 bits, so it becomes 4. Again no bits, so it becomes 0. Here 1, here 0. So ultimately our number becomes 10,400. Now let's move on to next question. Now here we have 2 bits on one spike. We don't have any bit here. We have just 1 bit here, 3 bits over here, no bits here as well, and 1 bit. So this becomes 1,03,102. Now for this question, this might not be tricky, but it's not very easy also. It's like a normal question. So here we don't have any bit on first spike, it becomes 0. I have 5 bits on this spike, so this becomes 5. We just got 1 bit on 100 spikes, so this becomes 1. Here I don't have any bit, so it's 0. Now here I have 4 bits, so 4, and 2 bits here, so 2. So ultimately my number becomes 2,40,150. Okay, so this is how you're going to do the first portion of exercise. Alright guys, I think it's enough for today's class, but I'll give you some homeworks, and all you guys have to do is I'll give you 4 questions similar to these questions, and you try it out yourself, and we'll continue this exercise in next lecture. Okay, this is what the one question look like. I want you guys to try this, and similarly I'll give you another question. Alright guys, these four are your homework. What you want to do is, I want you to take these screenshot of these homework. In case you don't know how to take screenshot, you just got to do is press your volume down button along with the power button. Okay, so actually you have to press those two buttons together, volume down and power button. Take a screenshot of this and do these four questions on your own, and we'll continue to do exercise 1A in next class. Until then, bye bye everyone, take care.